Uh, Ma'am,
Sir,
रिसेप्ट पर्सन जॉईन झालेत.
57.
बायोडायरेक्ट.
Roll number
येस.
57 will read the biodata.
येस.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Am I audible, sir?
येस.
Just a minute. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of MMTC and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathoda University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, I, Dr. Gnaneshwar Anantra Pancha, warmly welcome all the dignitaries here on the 15th day of the 14th Faculty Induction Program. I am truly honored to introduce Professor B.K. Sakhale, sir, a distinguished academician and researcher in food technology. He currently serves as the professor and head at the Department of Chemical Technology, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathoda University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. In his illustrious career, he has also held prestigious positions, including a registrar of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathoda University and director of Gopinath Munde National Institute of Rural Development and Research. With 22 years of experience in teaching, research, and extension, we all admire his contributions in various uh, fields. He has published 79 research papers, guided numerous PhDs and PhD students, and successfully led sponsored research projects worth over 50 lakhs. His research interests are vast, encompassing post harvest technology, food safety, extrusion technology, food product development. We are truly honored and inspired by Sir's achievements. Sir has also been awarded very prestigious awards like Dr. J.S. Pruthi Award in 2022, Professor J.S. Sudhi Award in 2018 from Association of Food Scientists and Technologists of India. As a fellow of Institution of Engineers, his active participation in academic council, research committee, and innovation boards is truly commendable. His professional journey is marked by organizing international conferences, presenting a global forum, and reviewing reputed journals. It is indeed an honor to introduce such esteemed personality. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir,
Yes.
you're audible.
Yeah. Good morning, one and all.
Good morning, sir.
Shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Today I will deliver a talk on the sustainable development in agriculture. We are talking about the sustainability in all fields, but agriculture is the very backbone, and it is 65% of the population is directly dependent on the agriculture, and therefore agriculture is very important and playing a pivotal role in the development of the nation. So that you are well aware about the what is the sustainable development or sustainability in all terms. So I will coil around this all this topic around agriculture, agriculture processing, and effect on the human beings, particularly the quality, health, and the food security as well. So with the help of the PowerPoint presentation, I will be talking, and you whatever you want to note down or your queries or any doubts you are having, you can note down, and at the end of the sessions we'll have the interaction session as well. Slides are visible.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Yes, sir.
Please mute your phones. Who is speaking in between? What is a sustainable development? This is a very generic definition. sustainable development refers to a mode of human development because under the name of the development, we are having the number of the projects who are converting the agriculture into non-agriculture, in which a resource use aims to meet the human needs. Development are always coiling around these benefits of the human beings, and that's why we are in trouble because of the deforestation, because of this use of the excessive use of these chemical fertilizers, insecticide, pesticides, and we are affecting the environment. Therefore, while ensuring the sustainability of the natural systems, whatever the natural resources are available, we are exploring it extensively. We are exploiting the natural resources and the environment so that these needs can be met not only in the present but also for generation to come. Therefore, we have to cautiously use the natural resources, particularly in case of the agriculture. The five important resources are there, which first includes the water, soil, then climatic conditions required for the growing the crops, then energy required for the agriculture sector, and these are the important resources that are directly related with the development of the human being as well as development of the agriculture. Therefore, we have to cautiously use these natural resources, or even we can add into these resources so that that will be made available for the near futures or for further generations. What are the importance of agriculture? Because we are all aware that when we look at the history, then India is an agrarian country because our totally livelihood depends upon the agriculture. Earlier, it was 85% population was dependent on the agriculture, but it is continuously decreasing. And as on today, 65% of the population is dependent on agriculture. At the time of independence, the 75% population was dependent on agriculture and contributing 60% in GDP. But nowadays, the share of the GDP is continuously decreasing. And that's why we have to think about the agriculture because it related to the providing the food security. That's why it is a backbone of the Indian economy. Majority of population living in the rural areas. As on today also, a source of the employment for the rural population for their livelihood, agriculture is for the subsistence, and therefore contributing 13% as on today and engaging 65% population. And this agriculture is most important because it provides raw materials for the industries, agro-based industries, non-agriculture industries, providing the material, raw material, then as a food, then fodder for these livestock, then fuel, and that levering the revenue for the rural population. The majority of population depends directly on agriculture and its allied sectors. That's why it is playing a very important role in our Indian economy. When you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, how the human needs are, they are classified into three categories. One is the basic needs, we can call it as a fundamental needs. Second is the psychological needs, and third one is self-fulfillment needs. Food is a very basic or physiological needs, food, water, and warmth and rest. So this pyramid you can at the bottom, basic is the food. And therefore, we have to agriculture is providing the food security or provide the foods. And second comes under safety needs, security and safety. Now recently we are also talking about the cyber security or financial security as well. Then by belongingness and love needs, that intimate relationship, friends, this is the psychological needs. Esteem needs, prestige, feeling of the accomplishment, and self-actualization. These are the when this hierarchy will find out the food is a very basic need, and that's why the agriculture is playing an important role. Agriculture provides the foods. If you get the good foods or quality foods, that will provide the nutrition, that is balanced nutrition. And that's why when you will get the good nutrition, definitely you will maintain good health. And that's why the health is wealth. We have experienced in during COVID pandemics how the food or quality food is playing a very important role in boosting our immunity systems. And that's why the food is life. And food is obtained from the agriculture. And what are the objective of the sustainable development? It is most important. Because sustainable development, the first objective of the sustainable development is to help to provide the enough food for everyone. Because even today, 35% population, Indian population, is suffering from any type of the malnutrition, either overnutrition or undernutrition or starvation. And 700 million population in the world is suffering from this food insecurity. And therefore, the first objective of the sustainable agriculture development is to help provide the enough food for everyone. Second is the bringing communities out of the poverty. Poverty eradication is one of the sustainable development goal. And therefore, in order to achieve this sustainable development goal, we have to achieve the food security. And it totally depends on agriculture. That's why this is the second most important objective of the sustainable agriculture is the eradication of the poverty. Third most important objective of the sustainable development agriculture is provide an enhanced quality of life for farming families because they're totally dependent on the agriculture. Therefore, whatever the produce we are getting from the agriculture, that should be free from any hazards, maybe chemical hazards or any health hazards. Therefore, it affects directly the quality life of this farming community. Fourth one is the utilize the farming methods that promote the soil health and reduce reliance on this fossil fuel on environmental sustainability. And therefore, the energy is most important. If the food wastage or the agriculture waste is not decomposed properly, it emits number of the greenhouse gases that affects the climatic condition or that affect the human health. Therefore, agriculture playing important role in order to achieve the food security. What is actually food security? It exists when all the people at all the time have physical and economical access to the sufficient. It is most important. India is being a welfare nation. It is mandatory to provide the sufficient food to every citizen of the country. And therefore, we are having the Food Corporation of India that takes due care in order to provide the food to the below poverty level population under the subsidized schemes that is called as a public distribution system, PDS. And for tribal areas or the remote area, that is called a targeted public distribution system. Therefore, to provide the sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs. Because classification on the basis of the dietary needs the one of the parameter for deciding the poverty line. Therefore, at least 1,800 calories should be provided through the food. That's why the food security is most important in case of this country like India. Therefore, on the basis of the food preferences, because India is having a diverse country, we are having diverse food culture. You can experience that in South, Central India, and North India, the food preferences are different. Under this scheme, we have to provide the food as per their preferences for an active and healthy life. And there must be physical supply of the desired food in sufficient quantity. If in South, we have to provide the rice. In India, in particularly Central India, we have to provide the staple food that is millets or the sorghum or wheat. And so it should be provided in the physical form, not in the form of cash or money. There must be economic access. That means it should be affordable. That is affordability is most important. It is provided at the subsidized rate 2 rupees, 3 rupees or 5 rupees per kg. It comes under the Essential Commodity Act. Therefore, basic food or fundamental quantity is to be provided. And there must be a stability in supply. Frequently supply should be there. 50 at the 15 days or monthly. The cycle is decided by the government of India so that it provides the nutritional security. Food security is first, then comes under the nutritional security that will ultimately achieve the purpose of the health security. Therefore, it is most important and the agriculture is the only solution to achieve the food security. And ultimately, it leads to the social security. So, the sustainable development in agriculture related with the society, economics, and environment as well. What are the future of the food and agriculture? It is most important because we are facing the global challenges and global trends we experience that will shape our futures. First, at the end of the 2050, the population of the world will be around 9.7 billion. So it puts pressure on agriculture how to provide the sufficient food or enough food to this increasing population. Therefore, it is most important that we have to increase the rate of food production. But it is expected to increase up to 70% in next 25 years. It is a big challenge, and that's why agriculture is most important. Otherwise, we cannot have starvation or such type of the malnutrition or the death will occur. And therefore, agriculture, we have to change the farming systems. We have to apply the sustainable technologies, green technologies in agriculture. Then and then we can achieve the sufficient target of the foods. That's why the sustainability improves the agriculture productivity to meet the increasing demand. Because the continuous application of the fertilizers, insecticide, pesticide, the quality of soil is getting degraded or deteriorating. And that's why the fertility and productivity of this soil is going on decreasing. And that's why we have to improve the soil health. That's why nourishment of the soil is most important. And that is only possible through the application of the organic matter, biomass, and that's why the sustainable solutions are most required. Second one is the ensure a sustainable natural resource base. So whatever the natural resources we are having, there's a water, soil, we have to maintain that and we have to effectively and efficiently use the water, particularly by using the different types of the technologies like micro irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, so that earlier we were using the flood irrigation system. But due to the excess use of the soil, excess use of the water, particularly for specific crops like sugarcane in Maharashtra, grapes cultivation in Maharashtra, so such type of the crops are having the high demand of the water, and that's why the soil becomes lean, and that's why the productivity get on decreasing. Therefore, we have to use these natural resources very cautiously. Then we have to address the climate change and intensification of the natural hazards. So this is most important due to the emission of the greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. The temperature of the earth is increasing, and that's why due to the increase in temperature, it adversely affects the productivity and total production, food production in agriculture. Therefore, we have to also take due care while applying the technologies. So particularly use the green technologies that will reduce the emission of these fossil fuel gases. Then eradicate the extreme poverty and reduce the inequality. It is most important because we have also think about the social development, community development, and sustainable development in agriculture not only related with the increase in food production. We have to also consider the participation of the society and then economics. Then that development will be an inclusive development. So we cannot avoid the environment also. And that's why this poverty eradication is most important because 800 million population in the globe is also under the poverty. That's why we have to eradicate the poverty. This is one of the most important sustainable development goals. This agriculture sector is around 3 to 4 sustainable development goals. The responsibility of achieving this sustainable development goals it depend on agriculture. Then end the hunger. We are also one of the sustainable development goals zero hunger by 2030. Food should be provided to every citizen of the world, and that's why to end the hunger, this is one of the objective of the sustainable development, and also various forms of malnutrition, undernutrition, or overnutrition. Overnutrition leads to obesity, particularly in the developed countries. The child obesity is one of the major concern. But in India, undernutrition or malnourishment, particularly in children, it is prevalent. And therefore, we have to also think on the agriculture in that angle, how we can end the hunger. Then make food systems more efficient, inclusive, and resilient. If the adverse conditions are observed in the agriculture, we have to develop the technology in such a way that we can find out these solutions in that particular condition. For example, I would like to quote, if the soil having the high pH, saline pH or alkaline pH, then we have to find out the varieties that will grow at the high pH soils. If the soil pH is very acidic, then accordingly we have to rotate the crop. So this is one of the important measures. Improve the income earning opportunities in rural areas and address the root causes of the migration. Because the people are migrating from the rural to urban areas. Therefore, we have to stop this migration. We have to provide this facility at rural areas. Agro-based industries needs to be established so that the employment will be generated in agriculture at the farm. Therefore, the migration will be stopped so that the population will be pressure on the agriculture will be reduced. And then therefore, processing and value addition also playing a very important role in agriculture, where that the doorstep of the second green revolution, which will be strive for this processing and value addition. Then build resilience to the protected crisis, particularly disasters and conflict, because the hailstorms, then famine, drought conditions, increase in temperature, these are the factors responsible for the reduction of this productivity in agriculture. Also, it prevents the transboundaries and emerging agriculture and food system threats. So the most important challenge is to produce the sufficient food for the increasing population. The rate of agriculture production growth is lesser or is lower than the growth of the population rate. Therefore, we have to achieve this target in a terms of the, you can say 10 to 15 years. These are the global challenges. First challenge, that is enough food production, that is sustainable food production. Therefore, we have to apply this technology because agricultural land is decreasing. Every day 3,000 hectare land is converted into non-agriculture. That means for the development of various projects or urbanization, cities are increasing, boundaries of the cities are increasing. Therefore, area under the cultivation is decreasing day by day. Therefore, we have to find out this such type of the technique, that is hydroponics, aeroponics, vertical farming. These are the two solutions for the sustainable food production. So enough food production, because by 2050 we require 70% more food for this increasing population. Therefore, sustainable food production is one of the major objective of the sustainable development. Second, whatever food we are producing, that should be safe, because number of the health hazards are coming. That is, food is having the heavy metals, toxic compounds in the food, because of they are present in the soil, because the industrial near the soil or the area under the major cities, they are having the heavy metals in the soil through the effluents, and that's why it comes from the food grown nearby the industrial areas. Therefore, such type of the metal toxicity or food poisoning or food infection that we are experiencing. Therefore, the safe food production is one of the challenge for before us. That is a global challenge, and therefore the quality of the food, safety and quality of the any food produce or any agricultural good is most important. This is the second global challenge. Third challenge, the food, it should not provide only the nutrition. Therefore, it should be beneficial for the health. That is, in order to boost their immunity systems, in order to give the strength to the human beings or to increase their self-life. Therefore, the healthy foods or nutritious foods are most important. And the food should have the taste, that is the satiety value. Therefore, the food with the good nutrition, good health properties, and good taste, that is most important. These are the challenges before the agriculture. Therefore, we have to grow, we have to nourish and sustain together. So all the stakeholders are playing a pivotal role in the agriculture. So on the day of World Food Day, this our actions are our futures. Whatever the action today we are taking, definitely it will bear the fruit. That's why we have to collectively we have to think it is not responsibility of a single authority or single agency. So this is the joint responsibility. That's why we have to take the appropriate actions that will decide our futures. That's why to grow, nourish, and sustain together is a slogan given by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And this World Food scenario, that is promote the global awareness, action for those who suffer from the hunger, and to ensure the healthy diets for all. Because most of the food is a medicine. If you have not consumed the proper food, definitely we have to take the medicines. So the food, we have to take food as a medicine. That's why the biotechnology or these advances in the microbiology, we are also trying our level best in order to get the maximum nutrients in a single food, so that it will prevent and also cure number of these disorders and diseases. So as the countries around the world suffered the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemics, we have experienced that how the food is important, our diet is important, our health is important. And Food and Agriculture Organization that has launched a call for global solidarity to help the most vulnerable people, that is children and women, during these pandemics to recover and make food systems more sustainable, stronger and resilient to shocks. Such types of shocks may be observed in number of times in when we look at the history. So this sustainable food production with the quality is main motto of this sustainable development agriculture. The responsibility does not lie with the governments, so we cannot blame the governments. We all have to play the role for making the food choices that improve both our health and that of our body, food system sustainable. Recently, we are 2003, we have celebrated the year of millet, International Year of Millet. And India is known for the growing the or cultivation of the cultivation of the millets, and therefore sorghum or bajra, such types of barley, or we can say nachni, such type of finger millets or the millet should be included in our diet, that will have the good effect on health instead of inclusion of the only wheat and rice. So this International Millet Year celebration, the consumption of the millets, that will also reduce the celiac disease that occur due to the continuous consumption of the wheat-based products. So in order to maintain the health or the low GI food, we have to consume. That is, millet is one of the option that is called as a superfood or a super cereal. According to the FAO, by 2050, the world population will reach to 9.7 billion people, and there won't be enough fresh food to need them all. Therefore, we have to increase 70% food production in coming 25 years. So it is a big pressure on agriculture. It will be the direct result of the current food waste and loss practices. Because as on today, 1/3 of the food is get lost because of the lack of facilities, storage facilities, processing facilities. We don't have the supply chain management. There is gap in demand and supply. And that's why the 1/3 food produce are get into the waste. And therefore, we have to recover that waste. And that waste decomposition also leads the formation of or emission of these greenhouse gases. So we have to save that losses. At present, 1.3 billion tons of the foods are thrown in the trash each year, 1/3 of the which are the fruits and vegetables. In India, 1 lakh crore rupees we are wasting in terms of the fruits and vegetable production. So we have to save that loss, and that's why we have to think from our side that we cannot throw that such type of the waste. By 2030, the world should be free from hunger. This is one of the sustainable development goal. The zero hunger is a sustainable development goal too. So we have to provide this food in order to prevent hunger. That is zero hunger with the objective of actions to make sustainable and healthy diets affordable and available to all. Therefore, everyone should have the access to safe, nutritious and affordable food. That is our fundamental right to get a quality food. And that's why the Nobel Peace Prize 2020 were given to the World Food Program in order to combat the problem of hunger. So in order to prevent the leakages or malpractices in public distribution systems, you might have read in the newspapers what happens with these uh, food grains that is supplied to the through the rationing to the at the last person of the village, that is under the PDS system or TPDS system. A number of the ATMs are also available now. Just like we are getting the money from the ATM, just I will get the food grains from ATM. Such type the 18 districts of the Uttar Pradesh during pandemic, the ATM have been established. Then automatic grain dispenser systems established by the Food Corporation of India in Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Haryana and Uttarakhand. Therefore, new type of the food that fortified rice, that is having the good amount of the carbohydrate as well as proteins to the 3 lakh school-going children in 2018 and 19 under the World Food Program, that is the State Rural Livelihood Missions. It is under the name of the Shama Prasad Mukherjee, the rural urban mission is going on in the country. After the independence, we have experienced number of the revolutions in the agriculture. First is that is called the Green Revolution in order to increase our production and productivity. So that we have imported the different types of the varieties of the particularly staple food, rice and wheat, and we became self-sufficient in the food grains. But now we have to think about this green revolution first. What is the adverse effect of the green revolution first on the agriculture? That the green revolution introduced the use of the chemical fertilizers, insecticide, pesticides, herbicides, and weedicides that have again created number of the problems. Though we have to think of now the sustainable solutions for this use of biofertilizers, biopesticide, bioinsecticides, composting or use of the compost or organic matter FIM. So the green revolution now only occurred with the 2 crops, but now we became self-sufficient. One of the lacunae that is we have to avoid this excessive use of these chemical fertilizers. Second revolution that we experienced, that is blue revolution. It was related with the increase in production of the aquatic food or seafoods, because we are having the 8,200-kilometer coastal lines. And that's why now inland fishery is also gaining the importance nowadays, because it is linked with the agriculture development by the government of Maharashtra. That is storage tanks, and under the tank you can grow these fish. And the third evolution, that is the white revolution, that is Operation Flood in case of to getting the milk for everyone. And now, because of the Dr. Varghese Kurian contribution, he is a pioneer of the white revolution, and we are getting sufficient milk. And we are the first country in the world having the highest milk production. We are ranked first, and we are also exporting our milk and milk product to the neighboring countries along with the technologies. So we are having sufficient milk production. We are the largest producer of milk in the world. Now the yellow revolution, that is increasing the production of the edible oils. Unfortunately, we could not achieve this target, and we are dependent on the neighboring countries, because every year we are importing near about 145 lakh tons of the edible oil. Our per capita consumption per year is only 14.5 kg oil, edible oils. If it increase only the 500 gram, then there will be big crisis in the edible oil. And we are importing the oils from the Malaysia, Indonesia. Their economy is totally depend upon the agriculture. We are not self-sufficient or Atmanirbhar in edible oil productions, because all these sunflower, sesame or the safflower, they are considered as the endangered species. Because you will see only the soybean is the crop, available crop. They are also providing in some extent our need of these edible oils. So we are thinking how to find out the sustainable solution for the edible oils. So under the FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, we are campaigning that consume the less oil in order to avoid this obesity, particularly in case of this growing age. The fat is also important. 10 to 15% fat should be included in our diet. But also we have to find out the solution, alternative solutions, particularly rice bran oil, then other olive oils or any oil palms. We are importing this plant material from this Malaysia. And so we are thinking to cultivate such type of these crops so that we can meet out this big challenge of these edible oils. Then golden revolution is related with the cultivation of the fruit and vegetables. And then I am proudly say that we are now the largest producer of the fruit in the world, and vegetable we are second in the vegetable production in the world. But unfortunately, we are not able to utilize these commodities, perishable commodities, converting into a value addition of these crops. These are the overview of the Indian agriculture. You can see we are having largest irrigated land. We are having the largest land available for cultivation. We are growing the wheat, rice, paddy, because of the diversified climate, right from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from east to west we are having the diversified agroclimatic zones. So we can grow the number of the crops, and we are leading in the country, in the world, in the different types of the agricultural crops. In case of the mangoes, we are the largest producer of mango. We are producing 50% of the world's mango. Even we are exporting our mango, Alfonso, Kesher. These are the prestigious varieties and liked by the all at global level. And we are earning near about the 3,000 crore rupees by export of these mangoes only. And 23% banana we are producing, 36% cashew nut, 11% of onion, 28% of the cauliflower, buffalo, 53% of the world's buffalo we are having. So we are exporting our beef to the neighboring countries and the developed countries. And we are having 8,000-kilometer coastlines also, we are exporting seafoods. But out of the total production we look at, only our 1.5% international trade we are having in agriculture. It should be doubled. Then and then we can earn foreign exchange, and our rupee will be get stronger as compared to the in relation with the dollar. At agro processing, all the food processing is still at a nascent stage because we are consuming maximum raw material. That's why we are not able to convert this raw material into a value-added product or processed product because of the lack of processing facilities, lack of storage facilities. After production, either we have to sell it or we have to throw it. We don't have any options. That's why the processing percentage is very low, that is 8.3%. But in case of the other countries, out of the total their production of the agriculture, they are processing near about more than 50%. And this sector is unorganized sector, particularly in the case of the dairy sector or milk and milk product sector. Therefore, we have to convert this unorganized sector into organized sector. This is one of the sustainable solution for agriculture. So large part of our harvest is either consumed fresh or wasted. A very small percentage processed. That's why the good scope for the food processing. That's why the Green Revolution second will totally based on this processing and value addition. And that will be the sustainable solution for the agriculture. When we compare the total population versus GDP versus population, then we can see here, in the case of agriculture, the share of this agriculture, contribution of the agriculture in GDP is decreasing, right? From independence 60% to 13%. This is very, we have to think about it because otherwise there will be no any, because agriculture is a manufacturing sector. So it is boost the other sectors also. Though the 65% population is engaged in agriculture, contributing only 13%, whereas the service sector, 60% contribution and only 16% population is engaged. And this sector is increasing by leaps and bounds, particularly IT sector, banking sector, these mobile facilities. So that the service sector, but this is not a good sign for the development. The basic manufacturing sector needs to be strengthened and needs to be established. That's why the foreign direct investment we are encouraging, or Prime Minister is encouraging to increase the foreign direct investment in the infrastructure or in agriculture or the industrial sectors. Why the sustainable development is important? Because in order to protect the technological resources, we are having the indigenous technologies. We have to protect it, and therefore the technological resources that I mentioned, that 5 major important, that the energy resources that we have to use cautiously, because the energy is required for the agriculture sector, and that is coming from this fossil fuel, and that's why we have to think over it, and that's why we have to use the solar energy or non-renewable energy sources, wind energy, geothermal energy. Second one is to provide the basic human needs, that is the food. And agriculture necessity, that is monoculture agriculture is we are using, so we have to rotate the crops, and we have to identify the what is the important as per the demand. We have to supply, and according to our requirement, we have to grow the crops. Accommodate city development, because urbanization is growing fastly or rapidly. Therefore, the villages should be strengthened. Therefore, rural population should not be migrated. Therefore, we have to provide this facility at rural areas. Control the climate change or the global warming. That is the where when we think about the development or industrial development, we have to also think about the environment. And that's why for establishing any industry, we require the certificate from this pollution control board, and how you can minimize this pollution by taking certificate also, that is ISO 14,000, that is eco-friendly technologies we have to use. That's why we have to sustain the biodiversity. So it will be now danger. Therefore, the sustainable development will take due care. What are the development challenges we are having? Because we have to do the developments. That development should be inclusive. That is the inclusion of the environment also. That is growth inclusion, growth environment, and inclusion of overall the environment. We cannot neglect or overlook the environmental contribution. Therefore, the ecosystem needs to be strengthened by taking the considering this environment into a picture of the development. Then role of the technology in sustainable development. This is the most important, that technology will be green technology or green chemistry we can use for this synthesis of the different types of the chemicals used in agriculture, particularly plant growth regulators, chemical fertilizers. So this green technology or green energies you are using for agricultural technologies, then definitely the sustainable development goal can be achieved. So in order to improve the productivity, because the soil is getting deteriorated, the health of soil is not good. So the government has started one campaigning, that is the soil health card. Just like our health, we can have the checkup in 6 month or the month in annual. So on the basis of this report, we can say that which type of the deficiencies are there. And in order to fulfill this nutrient, we have to add particularly in that soil. That's why the soil health needs to be improvement. It should be nourished. And water conservation. The technology is now very advanced, and that's why which crop, how much quantity of the water is required. It is already understood, this concept, particularly in the case of the Israel. Agriculture is well advanced, and they are having the total control by using the advanced technologies. And as per demand of this crop, this water is provided, nutrient will be provided. Even hydroponics, aeroponics, without soil, they are growing their agriculture, and the export of that country is more than 80% of the out of total production. So such type of the greener technologies or these sustainable technologies we have to use in agriculture. Then maintain the reasonable cost of the food and fiber. The cost of production is increasing because of the lesser production or the lower productivity. And due to the global warming and climate change, the productivity is going on decreasing. And therefore, we have to also the one of the challenge in front of us, that we have to increase the productivity. Improving the soil fertility. All the soils are not fertile. Therefore, we have to add the organic manure. We have to add the biomass. We have to maintain the microflora in the soil. Therefore, then and then the soil fertility will be improved. Improving the water availability and water use efficiency. Whatever the water is required, that quantity is to be provided. No excess water is given to the plants. And therefore, the new technology, that is water use efficiency, or the depending upon the crop and the requirement of water, we have to use the different micro irrigation systems. Reducing the food losses. 1/3 losses occurs in the after harvest, that needs to be reduced. Enabling the farmers to modernize as this becomes feasible to them. So the traditional farming versus advanced farming or the vertical farming, these technologies must be used by considering our needs. This is the climate change impacts for India. The expected climate change impacts for India, which include the change in weather patterns. We are expressing that the hailstorms or the rains in summers, drought in rainy seasons, even in winter there is no sufficient down in temperature. So such type of that affect the yield of the wheat or the rabi crops. So cyclonic disturbances, sea level rise in some nearby areas, changes in the agriculture yield, change in the fresh water supply, impacts on the forest and natural ecosystems, and it adversely impacts on the human health. So the effects of the climate change, but in agriculture, so we are experiencing all type of the disasters in agriculture, and that adversely affect the life of the human beings. What are the impacts of this climate change on agriculture? We can identify at a 10 to 15% loss in crop productions in India, which increase the temperature by 2080. Because if temperature ranges to 3 degrees centigrade, the number of the crops will get affected. Increasing the climatic variability associated with the global warming will nevertheless result in considerable seasonal or annual fluctuation in the food productions. So it directly affects the yield. Therefore, this is likely to have consequences on international food prices, trade, and hence our food security will be in danger. The small change in temperature and rainfall would have significant effect on quality of cereals, fruits, aromatic and medicinal plants that will resultant implications on their prices and trade. So the price fluctuation occurs. Therefore, farmers will not get the remunerative prices because of the demand and supply gap. That is, we can technically it is called a seasonal glut. So the pathogens and insect populations are strongly dependent upon the temperature and humidity. An increase in these parameters will change their population dynamics and resulting in the yield loss. Now, what we know and what we can do. That is rising temperature with lower rainfall at the end of growing season have caused a significant loss in India's rice production. This is the facts that we can see in the statistics. Without a climate change, average rice yield could have been almost 6% higher. Due to the increase in temperature, I already explained that during winter, we are not getting a sufficient cold temperature or low temperature in winter. That's why it affects the yield of the wheat. What could happen with seasonal water scarcity, rising temperatures, and intrusion of the seawater would threaten the crop yields, jeopardizing the country's food. So always the food production is fluctuating. And what we can do, that crop diversification is one of the solution. Instead of monoculture, we have to change these agriculture crops. I would like to quote the example of sugarcane. Earlier, or under irrigation, 98% crop containing 2% crop of sugarcane requires 98% of this water. So that area under the cultivation of the sugarcane is decreasing, and we are also using this micro irrigation system for the sugarcane also. So the improved soil management practices together with the development of drought resistance crops. So there is a resilience technology. We have to find out these solutions that we have to develop such type of the drought resistance varieties, high pH resistance varieties. Then as far as the energy security is concerned, the climate related impacts on the water resources can undermine the two dominant forms of the power generation in India, that is hydropower and thermal power, both of which depend upon the adequate water supplies to the function. So we have to find out the alternative source of the energy. The increasing variability and long-term decrease in the river flows can pose a major challenge to the hydropower plants. So projects will need to be planned taking into the account the climatic risk also. We can see the droughts, floods, tropical cyclones. In deserts also we are experiencing the floods. Then tropical cyclones that also leads to the reduction in the food production. Heavy precipitation events, hot extremes, and heat waves are known to the negatively impact on agriculture production and farmers' livelihood. We can explain this from the picture that's why most of the farmers, or you can see, they are not getting the remunerative prices. So the farmer suicide case is one of the also prevalent in the drought prone areas. So therefore, climate change also responsible to the farmer suicide. So we have to find out the solution. Only the sustainable technologies are the solution in near future. These are the food losses, how they at global levels. I explained in India at country level, but at a global level, Every year around the globe, 1.3 billion tons of the foods are lost or wasted. That is of one third of the all food produced for the human consumption. For the Indian loss of the food waste is equivalent to the total production of UK. And it is not a only loss, it is a food loss, and waste also amount to a major squandering of the resources, including water. We have used their water for growing that crop, land we have utilized, or energy we have put into the cultivation, then labor and capital. So this is the revenue loss, this is natural resources loss, loss of this raw material which is required to the industry. So this, and also needlessly produce the greenhouse gases emissions that contributing the global warming and climate change. So we have to reduce these losses by applying the sustainable solutions to the agriculture. This is the estimated level of the losses after harvest that occurs in particularly Asia and Pacific regions, because India is having 40% loss after harvest. This food will not be used for to anybody. Then Indonesia 20 to 50%, Iran more than 35%, Korea, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam. The maximum loss occurs in India because India is having the diversified crop pattern. So what is the solution for this? Find out that we have to utilize that waste or the loss and convert into a wealth, waste to wealth. That is called as a valorization of this agriculture produce. To add the value to the agriculture raw materials, both the food and non-food, through their processing into marketable, usable or edible products, enhance the income and profitability of these producers, bring forth the profits and additional income to the producers. So this is the most important, and therefore we have to convert this traditional farming into a advanced farming by taking care of the environment. So the agroecology also playing a very important in farming techniques that minimizes the environmental impact of the farming. So that the government is promoting the organic farming. In India, the Sikkim is having this total production by the organic way. In the world, only the Switzerland, they are having the all crops, all production from the organic crops. So the organic farming they are doing. But in India, where population is huge, so it is not, today it is not possible or the possible solution to apply this technique for the growing the crops under the organic or organic produce. So we have to use this combination of this traditional farming and advanced farming by taking the environmental conditions into consideration. So why the sustainable agriculture is vital for the food security of the future? Because number one is it nourishes and restores the soils. Second, it saves the energy. Then it will minimize the post-harvest losses. This processing industry will generate the employment generation. 1% increase in the processing, it will give around 10 lakh people generation. It generates the employment about 10 lakh directly and 5 lakh indirectly. So it generates the income. It also helps to eradicate the poverty. Also earn foreign exchange by exporting this agriculture produce and through the export promotions. So definitely it will add this value and our rupee will become stronger. This agro processing have the different domains. We can see these fruit and vegetable processing, dairy, meat and poultry. New area is now come up with, that is health supplements. You are consuming number of the foods having that is fortified foods in which the health supplements are added. Marine category, that is the inland and fisheries or aquatic foods. Grain processing, that is cereals, legume processing, oilseed processing, beverages, then consumer product, that is the snacks foods or bakery products. India rising the high on food demand curve, because earlier we were not having these breakfast, lunch, dinner or desserts. Now we are growing, our economy is also growing, and where our expenditure is more on now the food. Earlier only 5% income were was used for this procurement or these or expenditure on the food, but now it is increased up to the 15 to 20%. It is good sign, particularly now the Africa or these African countries, they are struggling for surviving. They are only based on the carbohydrate staple foods. Even the corn, they are using this 85% of the corn they are using in their diets. Now in India, we are not consuming the corn. We are 85% of the Indian corn are used for the cattle field, poultry field, piggery fields, and we are consuming the staple food, particularly wheat and rice or millets. So where our economy is growing, we are developing, and at the year of 2047, definitely we are taking the Vikasit Bharat. So India is where India is, we are consuming the number of the processed foods, snack foods, convenience food, or the diet foods. But again, we are behind this developed nation, that is North America, Japan, and Western and Australia, that they are having the functional foods and organic foods or medicinal foods. We have to achieve that target. So the convenience food, snacking, quality hygiene, high technology, we are far behind. Now, what is the Indian food trends? That the consumers are demanding the food from agriculture. That food should be safe, free from any toxic compounds, because you might be knowing that due to the excess application of the fertilizer, chemical fertilizers, insecticide, pesticide, the residues are available in the foods. I would like to quote the example of the Maggi. Recently, it was banned because of the heavy metal, that is arsenic and mercury and lead. And that's why the safe food is most important. What we are consuming, we should be aware that otherwise it will lead to the food toxicity. Therefore, the convenience, it is most important. It should be easy to use, easy to carry. It will provide the number of the nutrients. Along with nutrients, should provide the health benefits or wellness. It is also one of our quality life is one of our good health is one of the sustainable development goal that we have to achieve the 2030. So our life should be healthy. So consumers also demanding organic foods. Everything they are thinking about organic, but it is not so easy. It requires certification. All land or this cultivating land should be certified. It should be free from any hazards. It should be all natural or traditional vegans. They are demanding. Then ready to eat, ready to consume, ready to cook, ready to fry, ready to drink. On the go food, such type of the foods demand is observed from the customers. Then functional foods are nutraceuticals. Along with the food, it should provide the function of medicine. That is called a nutraceutical. Pharmaceutical plus food. That is called a nutraceuticals. In near future, you will experience that after consumption of such type of the tomatoes, that will also cure the fever and also provide the nutrient. This day will come, you will get the medicines through the food. So this is the new technologies are coming up or updated technology. Again, use of ICT, information communication technology in agriculture. That is use of the information technology platforms, Swiggy, Zomato, such type of the big basket, such type of the IT platforms are used for this branding, marketing of the agriculture commodities. That is called as the e-initiatives, electronic initiative, digital marketing in agricultural goods. The scope for development of the agriculture for the sustainability, that includes we have to adopt the cooperative methods, because in dairy sector we have a nice experience or good experience in providing the credit facility. We have to provide credit to the farmers. The Kisan credit cards are there available. Agro-based industrial awareness. We have to convert the agriculture into agripreneurship or farmpreneurship. Efficient market systems in order to avoid the losses. Market should be available. Nowadays, this market is very scattered. We are getting the food material from the hawkers up to the big malls or the supermarkets. So this is the 0 to 100 scale is there. So it should be very defined so that the quality of the food and shelf life can be retained. Development of marketing strategies for digital market, for local market, domestic market. The market should be well established with the infrastructures. For perishable, their cold chain should be there. E-marketing. In India, we are having the air conditioned facilities for the shoes or other non-food items. And for fish, for meat or fruit and vegetables, they are selling their produce on the streets or the open place. So the infrastructure development is very crucial for agriculture, for sustainability. And transportation and communication linkages, we have to use the information communication technology for these achieving the sustainable development. This is the strength of these agro produce in Maharashtra. Particularly, I have taken the examples who are known in the country for a specific purpose, for the onions, for the pigeon peas, capsicum, for fruits, for mangoes, and then grapes. So this area is known for their cultivation. These are the processing clusters where we are growing the produce and we are processing at farm levels. So these are the strength of the processing sectors in Maharashtra. In order to achieve the target, we have to boost our Indian economy through the Make in India, Stand Up India, Skill India. That is agro-based industries. When the Indian agriculture along with the agro-based industries, then and then the GDP will be strengthened or will be increased. So that this reducing share of the GDP agriculture, contribution of agriculture in the GDP, it is very critical, and that's why so we have to convert this agriculture into agriculture entrepreneurship or industry. Then and then GDP will be boost our Indian economy. Again, we can say that our Indian economy is totally based on agriculture. Till date, we cannot claim that the Indian agriculture is contributing a lot in the Indian economy. Now, how to achieve this? That there are different ways or solutions. That is, we have to develop the product, having the good characteristics. It should have the label. It should be that organic certifications, safety certifications. It should be export oriented. We have to grow the commodity for export purpose. Then we have to promote these commodities through advertisement, self promotion at global level. We have to do the campaigning. Then it should be competitive prices at global levels. Then price discounts, then quality discounts, and credit sales. Places for promotion. We have to develop the infrastructure for the storage of these perishable commodities. We have to establish these certification systems for the export purpose. And the marketing strategy needs to be reframed in order to have the global impact of the Indian produce. That includes the website designs, planning, management, offline integration, traffic building for the air cargoes, social use of social medias, e-initiatives, optimization of the processes, and whatever the produce were growing, it should be free from pesticide residues. This is most one of the important demand from the developed countries. It should be totally free from residues. This is a big challenge for Indian agriculture. Then and then our international trade will be doubled by 2030. Recently, it is only 1.5%. We have to make it to double, 3.0. That we have to make it double. And also the farmers' income should be doubled. Doubling the farmers' income, it is one of the motto of our Prime Minister. So that's why all the infrastructure facilities at the rural areas needs to be strengthened. That will definitely create a brand at the globe through the customers, through management, the innovation and research, teamwork, and the strategic planning. And there is a one-stop solution for these agriculture to have agriculture startups. This is most important because if you want to convert the agriculture into agripreneurship through a sustainable manner, then the agriculture startup should be increased. So the youngsters or these unemployed youth or rural youth should come forward and take the benefit of Stand Up India. Then incubation centers are available in the agriculture universities or in the various states. Take the benefit and start with the innovative idea, convert the idea into a product. Such type of the drone technology is now becoming popular because for spraying this pesticide and insecticide, now they one a startup has initiated use of this drone for the spraying purpose. It saves the time, it saves the insecticide, pesticide quantity, and also we can use this for the critical crops where it is impossible for this human being to enter into that crop. So that such type of the technology, and you can also use these sustainable technologies for this agriculture. So let's begin with the innovative agripreneurship startups. When you look at the statistics, the percent recognized startups, we'll find that the maximum startups are undertaken in the IT services. Then followed by the healthcare and life sciences during these COVID pandemic, then education, then professional and commercial ways, on agriculture and food sector, less than 8%. Because it is very risky, it is related with the human health, and that's why the percentage is very low. And nobody is interested to enter into agriculture because it is very risky and it is very laborious one. That's a fashion, textile and apparels, then retail. So that this percentage needs to be increased. Therefore, out of the total startup, only the agriculture startup is only 8%. Now then, sustainable development in agriculture, we have to focus or emphasis on the energy technologies. The energy, one of the important pillar in the sustainable development of agriculture. The technologies to provide and improve the energy services for developing world. Because more efficient biomass stores to reduce the fuel use and reduce the hazardous smoke emissions that leads to the increase in the greenhouse gases. Ultimately, it leads to increase in the global temperature or the global warming. Therefore, simple motor-driven systems for pumping water or grinding grain to reduce the burden of this physically demanding task on women. Because already we have transformed this technology and we are available now. The solar pumps are available. Single phase motors are available. Solar water heaters are available. Now the Prime Minister Surya Ghar Yojana is also available. So that solar energy needs to be propagated in order to reduce these greenhouse effects. So the energy efficient pumps, fertilizers and mechanical tractions to improve the agriculture productivity. Such type of the wind energy is to be used. These are the few examples I would like to quote how they have converted or used these non-renewable energy sources. Resource energy efficiency optimization through the awareness. This KFIT is company located at Pune, and they have invented that reduction in the freshwater consumption through a technological innovations. Innovation is also done in industry for the practical implications in agriculture. The revamp of the sprinkler system by eliminating the use of fresh water for the gardening purpose. We have to use the recycle the water that is used for the flushing purpose or any other purpose. We have to convert into a agriculture or gardening purpose. Detailed survey carried out for identifying and arresting the water leakages in the premises. Water pressure adjusted at different outlets for minimizing the wastage of water. Even at airport, we can see that without water, such type of the facilities are there, toilets are there, so that we can save the waters. The concept of the dry toilets for reduction in consumption of water, the company has developed such type of the technology. Employees engagement and education through the posters, screensavers, etc. So we all participants are, this is our responsibility in order to make the awareness about the use of these LED lamps, use of this solar technology or solar energy, or you can save the light wherever possible. So saving of the water and light or water consumption by 22%, that is 14,500 cubic meter per annum saved by this company. So this is one of the example. Then another technology, that environmental technologies. You can say that the green technologies, or you can use this greener technology for this agriculture in order to maintain or protect the environment. For many developing countries, provision of the basic water, sewer and refuse disposal services are major environmental priorities. These are the areas where spending on environmental technologies is concentrated. And developing the countries need more sanitary services and systems serving the rural and urban areas. Electric power, chemical, petroleum refining, steel industry, paper industry, food industries, textile, and other processes industries are potential major buyers of the environmental technology with reduction of this emission of the gases so that we can use such type of these technologies in order to protect the consumer. We want development, but we have to also protect the environment, the eco-friendly development. Then one of the company that is Hindustan Unilever Limited. You are might be knowing this is well-known reputed companies. They have converted the waste into energy. In particular, located in Nashik, and the type of intervention they have waste to energy from the gas produced through the ATP's plant, ATP slurry digestion. The slurry digester was installed in the ATP plant. This facilitated the anaerobic digestion, thereby converting a part of the organic waste into a methane gas. Methane is one of the greenhouse gases. Methane gas is then fed into the engine for generating the electricity and used to power the street lights. So they have converted this waste into a energy. The biogas plant capacity is around 2,500 kg per day. And the gas produced is approximately 175 cubic meter per day, which is equivalent to 78 kg of the LPG's cylinder or 315 kilowatt per day of the electricity. And total investment incurred by the company is 56 lakhs in 2013, and till date they have expanded their plants and their saving through the project lifetime is 100 lakh rupees. So this is the examples how the another example is the technologies for the local development. We want the sustainable development, but by considering the or involvement of the society, involvement of the localites or local communities or farming communities. So they conducted the community-based projects for the resource-efficient residential architecture, solar greenhouses, zero energy cool chambers. Without refrigerator, we can keep the foods at low temperature. Small farm systems, farmers market, resource recovery from municipal solid waste, wastewater treatment, energy generation, and healthcare systems. So we can use such type of these technologies for the local community. Second, rooftop solar photovoltaic panels. The Mahindra company, Mahindra Lifestyle Spaces, a company located at Chennai, Tamil Nadu. They have developed the solar photovoltaic based power generation, realizing the uncertainty of electric supply and to lessen the dependency on power utilities. Mahindra Life Spaces installed 75 kilowatt solar PV plants at their site. So they are becoming independent in energy sector. So diesel generators were used earlier, but frequently diesel prices hikes were increasing cost of generation. They also cause air and noise pollution. So estimated annual generation is 1,16,000 kilowatt hours. So the estimated saving electricity bills of 8%. Now the solar or the even vehicles we are using electric vehicles. So we have to produce the electricity by using this such type of the sources. Then and then it will be more efficient. Enhance the energy efficiency in agriculture. This is the energy technology to increase the area under the biofuel cultivation. So now the ethanol will be used in the currently we are using, but it will be again percentage will be increased so that we can reduce the load on the petrol and diesel. This is the first commodity we are expending more our income on the export of this petrol and diesel. Second is the gold, and third is the edible oils. More maximum amount we are expending on the import instead of the export. So modification and irrigation facilities, micro irrigation technology needs to be used in order to save the water or water conservation. Then how we can mitigate the climate change. That is, forestation is most important in order to reduce these emissions. Then adoption of the community transport systems. Every day we are bringing the vehicles, so we have to strengthen the community services so that nobody will come by car every day in office or no vehicle day in a week. Such type of practices we have to undertake in order to support the green technology. Then adoption of these systems that promote to use the energy efficient equipment, the LED lamps we have to use in our houses. Then promote to use the renewable energy sources, that is these solar dryer or solar heaters, wind energy, biomass conversion to energy, geothermal, wind energy, water. Then solar, such type of the technologies we have to use. Then for the cooking purpose, we can use the solar induction dryers that will save the nutrients. There will no loss of nutrients, 80 to 85% nutrients are retained. Solar cookers, wide variety of products can be prepared. Superior drying can be a solar dryer used for the conversion of these leafy vegetables or any food products for drying. And shelf life will be more for 1 year. It will also increase the 50% increase in profit of farmers. Nutrition improvement in particularly women farmers provide the market linkages for dehydrated products by using solar dryer. 40% reduction in the post-harvest losses. Immediately that commodities can be converted into dried form and increase in the shelf life up to 1 year. That will boost the women empowerment and employment opportunity to the rural people. Also to promote the use of biofuels in order to reduce the CO2 levels. So biofuel is the green fuel. So that such type the cultivation can be made. This is grown for the biofuel. Such type the technology is now growing up. Adoption of the 3R concept in industry is most important. We have to reduce, reuse, and recycle. We have to keep in mind this principle. Wherever possible, we can make awareness, we can avoid this use of plastics. Water is there, we can recycle the water for different purposes. So that this 3R concept is most important, particularly in industry, in order to avoid these or to, in order to maintain this eco-friendly production. So the in case of the agriculture, we can rotate the crop. The crop diversity is most important. That's why the sustainable agriculture is vital for the food security in future. That is, we have seen that nourishes, they restore the soil health. It saves the energy, particularly reducing by greenhouse gases emission. It conserves and protect the water through by using the technology that is micro irrigation, mulching, and by cultivating the perennial crops. The cropping pattern should be changed in order to give the rest to the soil and to increase the organic matter. Value diversity instead of monoculture. You can use the diversified crops so that the pesticide, pest and diseases can be minimized. Then it also provide the crops with the resilience. Sustainable agriculture helps in reducing the greenhouse emissions and conserving the energy and water. That we provide the resilience because it focuses on growing a variety of crops and it works in the harmony with nature. Whatever we are doing in the agriculture, particularly activities, agriculture activities, you should have the harmony with the nature. It should not hamper the agriculture, particularly in case of the apiculture, you might be knowing. Due to the spraying of the pesticide and insecticide, there will be the honeybees are endangered now. That's why the artificially we are promoting that use of these boxes in order to get the pollination. When the pollination naturally occurs, because pollinators are endangered now. That's why the ecosystem has been disturbed. In sustainable development of agriculture, we have to restore these ecosystems, and that's why we have to work in harmony with the nature. It is harmful for the environment, and we have to stop that practices and adopt such practices that will protect the environment as well. Then support the local community, whatever the indigenous technologies are there. We have to use that indigenous technology originated in India only, and that will take care of this environment and our health. These are the sustainable development goals. We are well aware that the first important goal that is no poverty. By 2030, we have to bring this population or Indian population around 37% to the above poverty line. That's why we are trying hard, or government is trying hard, providing such type of the different type of schemes to the rural youth or the uh, unemployed youth to convert this agriculture into agripreneurship. Second is the zero hunger. No should be hungry in the world. Therefore, we have to provide the sufficient food in order to eradicate the hunger. Good health and well-being is the third important sustainable development goal that can be achieved through the agriculture, sustainable agriculture. Then clean water and sanitation. This is most important. The quality of water is again doubtful. Whatever the water we are drinking, whether it is potable or not, it is questionable. Different types of the waters are available in different colors. That's why it is most important. And the developed countries are very ahead. They are now developed the water with the soluble fibers. The French company Rocket, they are selling the water at a rate of 50 rupees per liter. The water is having minerals along with soluble fibers that is required for our maintaining our health. Affordable and clean energy. This is one of the 7 sustainable development goal. It is the decent work and economic growth. Definitely, we want the economic growth, but that should be through the decent work, not by cheating or not by selling the any bad things. Industry and innovation and infrastructure. This is the important goal. That's why we are inviting these proposals from the developed countries for the infrastructure development. Then reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. So the agriculture is also rated with this Sustainable Development Goal 12. Responsible consumption and production. So we have to consume the safe food. Climate actions, 13 important sustainable development goals. And that's why we have to use this green technology in order to reduce the temperature of the global earth. That's why the climate action, that our actions are our futures. Life before waters, this is the one of the goals. And life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. So India is one of the country having the partnership with the developed nations in order to maintain these ecosystems. So the integrated, individual, and economic and social and environmental goals were to that we require the threefold actions in order to achieve these goals. These are the goals I have shown related with agriculture. That is 1, 3, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 17, 13, 14, 15. These 8 to 9 goals are directly related with the agriculture. But that is policy reforms. We have to reform our policy. Climate and inclusion. We have to develop such type of the technology that will be climate resilience and climate inclusion. Then information communication technology, ICT dividend. It is most important. We have to use this ICT in agriculture in order to get the sustainability. But under the policy reforms, what we have to investing into agro-rural development. We have to use the research and technology, complementary investment in boosting the agro-based industries, policy actions, social protections, self-sufficiency and subsidy programs, then trade catalyst, it's wider agriculture markets, regional and global initiative. We have to produce the food, having the global demand. So the partnership is important, complementarity is important, knowledge is important, teamwork, then governance, and agriculture, gender equality in agriculture, because the women playing a very pivotal role in agriculture development. So all these are the comes under the policy reforms for achieving the sustainable development. Food, water, and energy security. As per the report published by the Asian Development Bank, we have to provide the safe, nutritious, and affordable foods for all. This is one of our goal. So that pricing and subsidies are most important. We have the world food programs and regulations, engaging stakeholders, and implementation of these policies, market integration, small market and supermarket, hypermarket, they should be linked to where to establish the backward linkage and forward linkages. Farmers are growing, but they don't know where it should be sold. Therefore, links should be established and cross-border sharing, so that our raw material should be exported. Second, the climate resilient agriculture. This is most important because research and development, skill development, and infrastructure, these are the three important pillars in the climate resilient agriculture. The integrated approach should be there. As far as the plants, we have to take care of the livestock. They are complementary to each other. Integrated approach should be there. Agroforestry systems, crop livestock integration, crop production, cropping pattern and rotation should be there. Monocropping pattern should be stopped. We are continuing the growing the one crop in same land for years together. Just like grapes, sugarcane, wheat, corn. We are growing same crop from last 20, 30 years on the same land. Therefore, crop rotation should be necessary for sustainability. Crop selection and plant breeding, efficiency and management, system of rice intensification. So the ultra high density or high density planting should be there. Pollination management for the apiculture or the honeybees should be propagated so that the quality seeds will be developed. This is one of the institute located at Baramati. This is working on such type of the climate resilience technologies. So the Indian Council of Agriculture is a National Institute of Abiotic Stress Management. How to develop a crop under the adverse condition. This is institute. They are undertaking the different types of studies, how the crops to develop and that will grow at high temperature, that will grow at minimum water, also that can sustain at high temperature, high pH soil with low water intake. Then inclusive agriculture needs the human development as well. Farmers, fishermen, and foresters, that agribusiness and supply chain markets, financial sectors, insurance, crop insurance, because they during the disasters they can survive. And human development, access to the education and health, knowledge and skill transfer, that's under the skill development schemes. Then safety nets and social protections, that is social security. It is most important. And then we can achieve this sustainable development in agriculture. This is the ICT and food chain in agriculture. We have to use these mobile applications and information platforms, that is SMS, so that weather prediction should be there, so that farmers can decide whether crop is to be harvested or not. Even they can save their produce if they get the message from these weather monitoring systems, that hailstorms or cyclones, such type of the information communication technology if you use in primary production, aggregation, processing, distribution, market and consumer education. What can be done? These are the solutions for that is organic farming, reduction of the greenhouse emission from agriculture, apiculture, that is the honeybees or these honeycombs should be protected for quality production of seeds, change in cropping time and pattern and rotation, use of renewable energy in agriculture, adopt modern technology, that is green technologies, byproduct and waste management and utilization or valorization of the waste, safety in industry, that is it should be hazard free, food security and surveillance, natural resource management, that is use of the soil, water, energy very cautiously, because these natural resources should be maintained and retained and improved. Policy for trade and agriculture products, so that we aspire that prosperous farmer or develop India. This is our aim. We have to again become a good country having the prosperity to the farmers. What do we want? Whether we want this planet devastated, that is or a peaceful planet. Definitely, we want a peaceful planet. Choice is ours. So we have to take the appropriate step now. Our actions is our future, So the innovation for a secure future. The statement of the Albert Einstein is most important, that he says, today's problems cannot be solved if we still think the way we thought when we created them. So the problem creator and problem solver. So we are now in a position that we have to solve the problem created by our earliers or forefathers, but we cannot continue till for future generations. So with this, I am very thankful to the HRDC Center for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. You have heard very patiently with this very topic is very different. It's not related to your specialization, your area. But I tried my level best to disseminate this whatever the knowledge I am having in field of this agriculture and agro processing. And definitely it will be found beneficial to you, fruitful to you, or you can disseminate this knowledge among the students whenever you have the opportunity through the teaching. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Roll number 60.
Yes, ma'am.
You can propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all the participants present and our respected speaker for this session, Dr. B.K. Sakhale sir, Professor and Head, UGC and Dr. B.A. University, Chhatrapati Shahnagar, Maharashtra. On behalf of UGC Malavia Mission Center, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Shahnagar, I express my vote of thanks to our respected speaker. Sir has provided us a profound knowledge on how the technology used in agriculture can be created in creating eco-friendly agricultural process. Sir has highlighted various aspects, that is future of food and agriculture, global challenges, world food scenario, overview of Indian agriculture and sustainable development, etc. So it's very important at your present that our country should prosper for sustainable resources regarding the agriculture, and finally, as sir has proposed, that we need a peaceful planet where innovation should be there, but it should be in a peaceful way. Thank you all.
So, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Second lecture will be MOOC lecture. So you can leave the meeting and we can join at 2:50 p.m.